Hey guys, welcome back here. We are going to do another Rate My Base. We're going to go after Jrock the Great. So we're going to take a real quick look. We're using the King JDub account. So we'll take a real quick look at the stats of what he's got there. So just a little bit of fire shield right there. Nothing too fancy. And then everything else pretty standard. A little bit of leadership boost. And then some speed boost over here. 12% or so. So nothing spectacular. Nothing on the gloves or the weapon yet. So we don't use any scrolls in this series. We'll go through this little mini map here and go through the rundown of what all these little things mean and also give you a guideline. Because whenever you see about someone that's offering about 10 trophies, it means you should be able to beat them. If they're offering more than 10 trophies roughly, it means you're going to typically lose against them unless you have better tactics or their road and base completely sucks. So he's offering 27 trophies and 221 medals, meaning we shouldn't get to the, shouldn't destroy his base 100%. We might be able to get to the castle gate depending on, the troop setup, the tower setup, and then also the spells and the, troops that we use to attack with. So we don't use any scrolls. I've never attacked this person before. We go through here. First observations on the little mini map. We don't know what these towers all are exactly, but we can get a gauge by looking at over here. This shows you what he has the most of, or what he spent the most money on upgrading. So he has a lot of bomb towers, and they're fairly strong. Then next he has a lot of gargoyle towers and some spikes. As you can see, the spikes are the red dots. You always know when spikes are there. And then he has barricades and arrow towers. And there may be possibly other things as well, but they just do not appear as they can only hold 5 things. Same with the troops. So he has lots of paladins here, and then a few pyromancers, some art blasters, a mortar or two, and then knights to round out the batch. So looking at the base looks okay. Nothing too amazing. There's no real hard spot where you're gonna have to really be worrying about a firebolt cannon, and he doesn't even appear to have any firebolt cannons. So right now he's very high actually for what he has. 2,500 trophies with this type of tower setup with no firebolt towers. That's a very high trophy range without no firebolt towers. So that probably means he's a very strong attacker, and his troops are probably a lot higher level than your average person. Because the towers, there's nothing spectacular here. He has bombs, he has gargoyles, but no advanced towers, no skulls or firebolts. So we probably will be able to get fairly far into his base. We're going to be able to use cannons very effectively in this base design because the cannons are resistant to the bombs, so they're going to take less damage, and they won't take any damage from the gargoyle towers because they shoot at a longer range. So as long as the hero can hold off the troops, it would be okay. So for spell setup, we just have unlocked the Blade Storm. We may not actually use the Blade Storm in this one because he doesn't have that many barricades, as you can notice. He says 1, 2, 3, 4. He has 6 barricades, which is a very small amount actually, so we probably won't use the Blade Storm. Blade Storm is extremely powerful against barricades and the wooden blockades, but against other things, it doesn't do that much damage. So we'll probably put on the Sword Rain for that. And then, oops, so I just swapped it out. We'll probably use Firestorm. Well, it's tricky because he doesn't have any Fireball towers. He has a lot of blunt towers, so I guess the Firestorm won't be that effective either. So we'll probably end up using the Hammer Strike, since the Hammer Strike is blunt damage, has a really quick cooldown, and it can attack every 7 seconds, do a good chunk of damage to these guys. The Gargoyle Towers will give us some issues, but we're going to use cannons to take care of them. And we'll also go with the stun spell that I've been messing around with on this account. It's up to level 7. It's fairly effective. It stuns for 6.5 seconds. It'll allow you to heal just a little bit there. So we're going to go like that. We're going to use cannons. We're going to use knights for DPS. And then the third troop, we probably won't really even use it at all. But we're going to go ahead and throw in a... I want to say Paladin. Yeah, no, we'll give ourselves a ranged troop. We'll give ourselves the Orb Blaster. We're probably not going to use it. So we're typically just going to use knights and cannons in this fight. And so we're going to go ahead and attack. Hopefully he's not online. So we're going in. His barricades are fairly close up, so we're going to use 2 cannons right in the beginning. We're going to come over here so we can get to the Pyromancer. We're going to stun that, and that also stuns the towers as well. So his barricades are actually fairly high level, which is surprising. But it's a good spot for the Firebolt Tower. Interesting. He does have one. It didn't show up on his little mini-map, and it's actually a very good position for a Firebolt Tower. So our cannons are still doing work down there, slowly but surely. We just got to make sure we take out the Pyromancers. And if we can prevent the cannons from dying to the Pyromancers, we'll get very far in the base. We probably won't be able to destroy the castle gate, but we'll get very far. He does actually have another Firebolt Tower as well, so this is very, very interesting setup where his base was a lot harder than what his mini-map was showing. So I need to heal some, so I'm going to try and get over here. I'm going to stun right there, and unfortunately I wasn't close enough to the Firebolt Tower to get that one stunned as well. Need to run back. And see, those Firebolt Towers have thrown me for a big loop. I don't have any Pyromancers on here. I don't have my Firestorm. So that right there is a huge, huge issue for me, because the only way I can kill those is with cannons. And his troops are fairly strong, so we haven't been able to really get cannons all the way up here. That other Firebolt Tower did go down thanks to my cannons, but it took some of my cannons with him during the fight. Gonna come back here and chill and regenerate. You can see the knights are getting demolished by the Firebolt cannon over there. We're going to try and kill this, and we should be able to kill the barrier, and that'll get us a little bit more percentage. So this base right here was a very, very tricky, base and tower setup, because the little mini-map didn't give us any indication that he was going to have Firebolt Towers at all. So that was a very, very good base and tower layout for him, because he kind of manipulated the system, and it doesn't even show that he has Firebolt Towers, which would kind of alter your strategy when you go in to try and fight him. And the reason is because he spent more money on the upgrades on these guys than he has in the Firebolt Tower. So he actually has 2. He has one right there, and he has one right here. And this one is in a very good position because only cannons can really reach it. It's snuck way over here, and it does a good deal of damage from over here. So if I had Firestorm on, I wouldn't be able to even burn it until I got way over here. Knowing that he has Firebolt cannons, I probably would swap this out for Firestorm, and that would get through this corner a lot more effective, and probably would be able to help us through some of his troops a little bit. Stun is good, but that Firebolt Tower there pretty much annihilates all my knights that touches it, and it's extremely, extremely powerful against knights. So knowing that he has Firebolt Towers, I'd probably go to use Firestorm instead. And then I also, a little pet peeve is this is a weird setup. You should always put your most used spell on the very left. So I was playing and I was wondering, how come my sword rain's there? So you want to have your most common spell over here on your left so you can quickly access it and notice it. Whereas when the hammer strike was in the middle here on the third one, I was kind of forgetting about it sometimes. Like, huh? Oh yeah, it's available. So like, I always want to put your, for me, your fastest spell over here that you're using the most and spamming. So the base now, it makes a lot more sense why he's at 2550. He doesn't have, you know, any indication that he's that strong here. This is a really hidden sneaky spot where the tower is stuck there. And so if you don't bring cannons, because you're not really expecting a tough fight or whatever reason, anyone that doesn't bring cannons will get screwed over by this cannon right here. This firebolt cannon will destroy all your knights and your paladins and anything that walks by there. And then this one over here will also destroy all the other stuff. So a very, very sneaky base. This base probably actually gets him a very good amount of gems for people that come in there and they die right around here because they're not expecting it. And the troops are also very high level and very strong. Good wave setup. He's got a mixture of frosters in there as well, which aren't even shown on here. And the frosters actually do a decent amount of damage. So all in all, this is a really, really effective base, mainly because of the sneakiness involved. Like I said, no firebolt cannon on this little thing. And then there's no froster here. Froster isn't really a big deal, but the firebolt cannon is huge. So that is a very, very cool design where he tricked the system and was able to do this. So when he actually upgrades some more firebolt cannons or makes new firebolt cannons, this will change a little bit and he'll probably appear with a firebolt cannon. So it may not be as effective as you build more firebolt cannons, as crazy as that seems, but that's just thoughts. We didn't get too far in the base. We got like right here. Everything looked pretty well. He had a water tower and a gargoyle tower over here with his firebolt tower, and that combination worked out fairly well. Slowed down the hero, does some burn damage, does some water ice damage, and then the firebolt cannon as well does burn damage. So a very effective base over here, and yeah, this, like I said, just the sneakiness and everything. This is a great base for around this trophy range. Definitely give it a 10 out of 10. It stopped us fairly early in the base and caused havoc on us. The spikes, I'm not too sure on the spikes. They didn't seem to do much damage at all, but yeah, that is typically like a thing people in the higher levels have noticed, is that spikes aren't effective. Even if you upgrade, now I got one to level 8 or 9, and it still doesn't do that much damage and doesn't have a lot of life. So probably taking out one or two of the spikes or all the spikes would probably be a lot better, and then putting up more barricades. But although that right there would have altered my attack strategy, I would have bring in more Blade Storm, and Blade Storm would have taken them down quicker. So going this way, like I said, he tricked me into using different spells and different troops, and it worked out to his advantage. So a great job there.